Hello and welcome to your messages for the month. These are your messages for the month of February 2024. Today is the 1st, so happy new month, happy February, happy Bridget's Day for all my Irish friends, which is also today. So yeah, the beginning of spring. We don't think of the beginning of February as the beginning of spring, but there is something beautifully spring-like about it, I think. So let's have a look. Those cards fell out already, and we have another one wanting to come out. Pick me, pick me. Okay, do we have any others? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Deborah Jane Sutton. You can find out more about me and the things that I do from this YouTube channel. So please have a good browse around. There's lots of free content on energy, healing, all sorts of things. And also from my website at deborahjanesutton.com. So let's have a look then what the energies are doing. 6 have come out. So that's quite a lot again, isn't it? I think that was the same last week. Knight of Swords. Rushing, rushing, rushing. Now this is interesting. This is how I've been feeling, like just got to get a lot done, got to get a lot done. But if you're watching this video, for sure you're a starseed, light worker, way shower, healer, whatever, on your path, and you're here to raise the consciousness level of humanity at this time. Otherwise you wouldn't be watching. And this card has come to say, slow down. Now, it is so interesting that I'm getting that message, because I don't usually read this card with that meaning, although most people do. Normally I'm thinking of it as in your life takes off really quickly when you start aligning with your divinity and you start, raising your frequency, then your abundance comes, everything falls into place really quickly. I normally interpret it like that, but really now it is about slowing down. Stillness is the access point to acceleration. If you want to speed anything up, you have to start by slowing down. It's just, we don't have to understand how that works, but it is a quantum truth that things happen that way. And when you understand that time is just like a fourth dimensional illusion, we want to go beyond that. So don't worry about time. And it's really important. I kind of got this message earlier on today when I was doing a private reading, that February, for those with this mission, shall I say, is a time to rest. It's a time to rest. And it really resonates with me, because the garden retreat has been really quite quiet, but then I'm kind of half choosing for it to be quiet. Obviously, I'm the creator of my own reality. So there is something somewhere about freeing up your calendar, freeing up your diary in some way or another. And even if you have to go to work and stuff, it's just about where can you free up some time, because he really is saying slow down. And I think the reason, I mean, the rest of the cards are face down, right? So I don't know what they're going to say, but I think the reason that we're being asked to slow down is because I keep getting this March, April feeling that something's going to happen in March and April this year. And I get the message, all hands on deck. All hands on deck. So if you are in any of the healing, modalities, if you're in the field of wellness, anything like that, or even just following your heart, maybe you're retired and you don't need to make money and you're just enjoying yourself, with your gardening and walking and what have you. That is also, remember that work and play is just a human construct. As far as the universe goes, there's just creation. There's just creating, whether you get paid for it or not. So this is not about like working hard and everything, but this is about making sure you do what you love. But obviously, if you are a healer and a way shower or coach or anything like that, you are doing what you love. You're doing it because that's what you love, right? And you're inspired to do it because you're following your heart, you're following your inspiration, which is perfect. So those of us that are in those genres or whatever, it is what we love. So we are being asked to do more of it. But I really think that we need to rest in February, because I think it's all hands on deck in March and April. So let's just see. I'm really excited now to see what the rest of the cards are saying. Choose wisely how you spend your time. This is kind of following on from what I've just said. This is usually a choose wisely card. All these choices and options. I want to say how to spend your time, but Cups is, as we know, emotions, it's spirituality, intuition, creativity. We're creating in every now moment, right? So creating isn't just like drawing a picture, right? I don't mean to say just, that made it belittle it a little bit. I don't mean it like that. You know what I mean, don't you? Because when we grow up, we think that the artists are the creative ones and the rest of us are not creative because we're not artists, but it's like we are the creators of our own reality, and we create in all sorts of ways. These are all the different ways that you can create. And the other thing I really want to say with this card, because it is so important that we stay in a high vibe. It's like some of these options, they might make you money, of course, and if you need to make money, that's great. And some of these options won't, but you still have to do them if they are following your intuition and taking you to a place of divine creation. You're still wanting to do it. It's still going to raise your frequency and expand your level of consciousness. And some of these choices that are in front of him, he's going to have to pay for, right? I'm saying him because he looks like a male figure here. That he's going to have to pay for. So it doesn't matter, you're going to pay for some things, you're going to not pay for some, and then you're going to get paid for others. It doesn't really matter. It's about choosing channels whereby you raise your frequency. So that's why it's so important to do what you love, and love what you do. Because although this is coming up now in February, but I think this is following on from what I said, the Tower card moment. I think a lot of people are going to have a Tower card moment. And everything's going to go tits up, but it's going to be for your benefit. Totally and utterly for your benefit. I've talked before about, moving to the garden retreat and how that came about. And what the Tower card moment I experienced just before the garden retreat was born, basically. I had no idea that that's where I was being taken, but I had an inner knowing when everything went tits up. I don't know how that's going to translate for those of you using the captions. Well, I had an inner knowing that the universe was taking me where I wanted to go, or where I needed to be. It might not be where you want to go. It might not be where your human thinks you want to go. It will be where your soul wants you to go. And this is so funny. Everything's happening at once. Because I saw this post today on Facebook, and it was about this girl selling her little home in the Ecuadorian Amazon jungle. And it looked amazing. It was just surrounded by these weird and wonderful, gorgeous, amazing fruit trees. And it had the hot water and all the comforts and everything that you would need. And it looked absolutely amazing. Not something that makes me want to go there, but I looked at it and I thought, this is somebody's dream. This is and it was really kind of fairly reasonably priced, right? If you're coming from, like Europe maybe. Or America. But it was interesting because as soon as I saw it, I was like, that is somebody's dream. That is somebody's dream come true, to find a place like that at that price where they can just go and be in nature to that level, to that extent. It's not resonating with me, but if something like that is resonating, and it's a massive step, of course, it's a massive step. I mean, it will still be a financial investment, of course, even if it was reasonably priced for what it was. But it's if you're interested, of course, check out my Facebook page because I shared it. And I shared it because I just knew, I feel like it's somebody's dream. There's somebody somewhere just sort of going, right, all I want to do is just get away. I just want to hide away in a jungle somewhere, meet like-minded people, eat off the land, eat the fruit down there. I don't know, maybe a botanist or somebody that wants to go and write a book or a whole series of books, or I don't know, somebody that likes painting leaves. I don't know, whatever, somebody that wants to learn Spanish. doesn't matter, does it? But I just saw it and I thought that is somebody's dream, because it's all kind of self-contained. It was all there, ready to go, you know, and the person selling it, so lovely. So I don't know. I just saw it and thought that is somebody's dream, and somebody's going to see it and think, oh my God, if only I could do that. Oh my God, I would love to do that. Right. And I want to say to whoever that is, you've got to do it. You've got to do it, because it came up, but that people are doing that. I've got friends that want to go to war-torn countries just to serve, and they've never done anything like that in their life before. Never, you know, and they're just compelled. They're just feeling it. It's just like, can't stop them. You know, it's amazing what's happening with the energy at the moment. So I'm not surprised the Tower card has come up. It's the most beautiful thing to come up. Who used to be scared of the Tower card? I mean, you can't move to you know, a beautiful little home, wooden home with everything that you need in it, and fruit trees in the, you know, Ecuadorian Amazon jungle without a Tower card, right? Because you're leaving your home, you're leaving your job. I mean, you can take a relationship with you, of course, but it would be an example of a Tower card, making a big step like that. It could be selling a house that you've been in for 20, 30 years. It could be leaving a relationship you've been in for 20, 30 years. It could be somebody else telling you that you've lost your job. It could be somebody else telling you that your relationship's over. You know, and your first thought is one of victimhood and pain and suffering. You know, these people are not exactly comfortable here, falling out of the tower. It's not comfortable, fair enough. But when you understand the bigger picture, and you understand that if that is happening to you, you've lost your job, you've lost your relationship, or whatever it might be, you know it's happening for your benefit. Yes, you can be sad. And remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we had the own it, feel it, heal it. So I'm not saying avoid these negative emotions. You have to own them, feel them, and heal them. And remember that you're doing so on behalf of the whole collective. If that concept is new to you, check out that video. I'll put a link in the description and the video in the end screen, because I think it was a really important video, a really important point. But so yeah, it's not about not feeling it, but when you have that inner knowing that tells you that you're going where you're meant to go, you know, you're being freed up. Right? You lose your job, you lose your relationship, whatever it is. Why are you being freed up? You're being freed up because you're meant to be doing something or going somewhere. You know, the universe is freeing you up because something big is happening. You know, something big is happening. So you're going to need to be still and calm and like keep your frequency high by doing what you love, processing those emotions, of course. But basically, the affirmation, you know, I am ready and willing to allow my full potential. That makes me think of this, because that's what I was affirming when I had my Tower card moment. I am ready and willing to allow my full potential. I think that's definitely the affirmation for February, because really I'm getting the message we need to stop rushing around, relax, rest, you know, as much as possible. Because something big's happening. It's 2024. And I think it is really, like I said, it's going to be all hands on deck. And it's going to be all hands on deck to help these people. That you could be one of these people experiencing the Tower card yourself. But I think in the collective, these systems are coming down. Let's remember that our reality is a reflection of the bigger picture in the collective, and it's all from what's going on within. And what's collapsing within is our belief system, you know, our ego, our expectations, all sorts of things on the inside within us that are collapsing and changing, and making us behave differently, making us think differently. It's because we're thinking differently that's what's changing our reality. Okay, and maybe we don't know what to think, but everything's up in the air and we don't know what to think. It's being reflected. Okay, that upheaval. This card is about disruption and chaos and upheaval, but you can't move to an Ecuadorian Amazon jungle little hut, can you, without some upheaval, you know? So yeah, interesting. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's thinking. We've got the ace of oh my God, we've got the Ace of Swords. What did I just say? I just said it's about thinking. It's because we're changing the way we think. We're changing the way we think. That is what is creating these tower card moments outside of us. Because also the Ace of Swords is aha moments, a realization. And I had one of those the other day. It was interesting because I had this amazing healing. I won't say her name yet because I don't think she's like ready to take on too many clients. I'll say her name later when she's ready. But it was an amazing healing. And the reason that it was so powerful, one of the many reasons it was so powerful, was because I've been reading a lot of Dolores Cannon, and Dolores Cannon talks to the subconscious through her clients, right? Or past tense, when she was with us, bless her, through her clients. And often if the clients have some physical ailments, the subconscious, she'll ask the subconscious, you know, can you help her with these ailments? And the subconscious goes, yes, we'll just clear that energy. And they scan the body and basically clear any of the, you know, physical ailments by raising the frequency. Okay, a bit like a med bed. And I've been reading so much Dolores Cannon that I've heard this again and again and again. And so I have a belief. I have a belief that this can happen. I have a belief that if you are at that level of consciousness, if you have that belief that this kind of healing can happen, right? So I had this healing with this amazing woman, and she did exactly that. She just scanned. And I had this, what I would call the Ace of Swords. That's what's making me think about it, the Ace of Swords, because I was like, oh my God, I totally believe this. Whereas you might have had a healing like that with an energy healer or with anybody, they can only work at the level of belief that you have. You know this. If you go for energy healing and you don't believe in what's happening, it's not going to be so effective. Because it's your belief. We know that the universe is mental. We know that the first of the Hermetic principles is that the principle of mentalism, and that the universe operates, you know, in those mental processes. It's created from our mental processes. It's true what they say, you know, change your beliefs, change your life. Like, you know, Dr. Wayne Dyer said, you are creating at the level of belief that you can hold. But we have to believe that we can hold miracles. And because I had read the Dolores Cannon so much, it had become like, yes, this happens. I believe this because it happens. It happened to all of those clients that Dolores Cannon worked with. And I believe it can happen. And there I was in that situation. And so when it started, I mean, not only were my guides there and my Arcturians and her guides and everything else, which was already making me cry because it's just so much love coming in. But then I had this really kind of weird wave of energy that was like, this is true. This really happens. This can happen. I believe this. And it was that belief that took everything to another level. And then I just cried some more. But this is what I'm trying to say. You have to believe it in order to create it. You know, our most creative power in life is our ability to choose our beliefs. And we can't just like choose to believe like millions can come to you like this at a click of a finger. You're not going to believe that, are you? But you know, when you think about it and you realize, well, hang on a minute, we can win the lottery. Why can't I win the lottery? I don't know why I went onto a money one there, but it happens with money too, of course. It's all connected, isn't it? That when you believe that you are a magnet for money, when you really believe that, then money will come. You know, it happens for everything. It's the same with love. And we've got the lovers. I'm not there yet, but it's the same with love. When you believe that you deserve and that you're worthy and that there's a soulmate for you, and you also can release the expectations and release the neediness. Release, it's actually about releasing like the desire almost. You have a desire for something and then you have to kind of, you put it out there, but then you have to live your life, you know, as if you don't need that desire. You know, everything's already hunky-dory as it is, being grateful for everything that you have, which is also here. So yeah, so this is what I was saying about thinking differently. This is 2024. We've got to understand how we create our reality, because when you understand how you create your reality, you understand that miracles can come in with a change of thinking. You can you can create miracles by just changing the way you think. Right, I'm going to put a link in the description and the video in the end screen to my video on how we create our reality. Because, you know, one of the things that's holding us back as a collective is people, a lot of people I'm hearing saying, oh, well, that's not going to happen in my lifetime. You know, I was talking to somebody about med beds and they were saying, well, they're not going to happen in my lifetime. You know, and well, you can't change the world like that. That's just the way banks are. You can't change them. Oh, that's just, you know, and all these people just accepting things that they don't agree with. But they don't understand that they are the creators of their own reality. If you accept something into your reality, then you are keeping it there. You are entangling with it on an energetic level, and you are keeping it in a vibrational match to you. If you don't want something in your reality, then you have to disentangle. That means stop thinking about it, stop speaking about it, and stop taking actions towards it. Obviously. Start thinking about what you want to create, talking about what you want to create, taking action towards what you want to create, and believing in what you want to create. And so the next card is the Seven of Pentacles. He's looking at everything he's achieved. Okay, and this is for the people, I'm just going to use it as an example. Might not be for you directly, but there'll be something in your life similar probably. But he's like, maybe he wants to buy a property in Ecuadorian Amazon jungle, right? And he's got everything he needs. He's got the knowledge, the know-how, he's got all the information, he's got the financial support that he needs, he's got the people, he's got everything he needs. He is looking at his stockpile, he's reflecting on his stockpile. And a lot of people think, oh, I'm not ready to do that. I'm not ready to do that. Well, it wouldn't be coming into your mind to do something if you weren't ready. And if you don't do it when you want, the opportunity comes, don't be surprised if you have a Tower card moment. Because if some opportunity comes in and you don't take it and you sit there going, oh, I'd love to do this or I'd love to do that, but you don't take the opportunity, well, then the universe will create a Tower card moment for you so that you have no choice whatsoever but to take new direction and to shift your thinking. But this card is to reassure you that you have everything you need. You have it. You might not have much money, you know, and you might not know the outcome of stuff, okay? But you have what you need to take the next step. You don't need to know the step after that because you have to take the next step in order for the next step to appear, you know? That's really important. You don't have to see all of the steps. You know, it's not like the old days. I mean, like our older generations that are saying, well, what's your 10-year plan? You know, what will you be doing in 10 years' time? I'm like, what? Did I know I was going to be doing this 10 years ago? No. Why would you know what you're going to do in 10 years' time? We've got to get away from that thinking. You know, you're never going to create miracles if you make a 10-year plan and then stick to it. Because you're going to make the plan from your human mind, and you know that nothing makes God laugh more than a human with a plan. That is exactly the energy of the Tower card. Okay, I had a plan to go traveling, didn't I, 2 years ago? And I'm sure God was laughing at me. She thinks she's going traveling. She has no idea that we're going to make her life go tits up and that she's going to end up opening and running the garden retreat. You just have to let go. You just have to let go and flow. That good old adage. And the last card, what a beautiful, beautiful card to end on. So this is February and we've got the lovers. Okay, yes, we have Valentine's Day in the middle of February, but this is about loving yourself all day, every month, every year. This is about understanding that when your self-love is overflowing, that's when you're going to meet your divine partner. That's when you're going to meet your divine partner. So if you are single, if you are looking for love, please focus on your own self-love because that's where you're going to find your divine partner. And your divine partner might be in the Ecuadorian Amazon jungle. You don't know where they're going to be, do you? I had no idea I was going to meet my husband in the village where I met him. In fact, I had friends that were really urging me to move out of the village because I would never meet anyone decent in the village. That's what they told me. And I was like, no, I like this village. And I stayed, and then I met my husband. So, we just don't know, do we? So let's stop pretending with our human mind that we can think things greater than our higher self can, right? Now, this is telling us that self-love is the way to go, and loving everybody else, of course, loving everything. Just keep following your heart, doing what resonates, you know, buying that little home in the Ecuadorian Amazon jungle, whatever it may be. This is about if you're feeling it, if it's resonating, if it's making you expand with that feeling of love and excitement and joy. You got to do it, and you've got to do it now. You've got to do it in February. Might not be that restful. There is a little bit of a rest to begin with, because stillness is the access point to acceleration. And when you're in that place of stillness, you'll hear the call. You'll hear where it is your soul wants you to go, who your soul wants you to be with, where your soul wants to go, and what your soul wants to do. You'll hear it, but you won't hear it when you're running around. That's why you've got to slow down, choose wisely, listen to the call. Let the miracles in. Let the miracles in. Choose your beliefs. You can believe anything you like. You can choose and believe anything you like. You're ready for this. You're ready for this. This is love. We're creating. There is only love. There is only love. We are creating heaven on earth. And you may have your own version of heaven on earth. We all have our own individual version of heaven on earth. But as a collective, a lot of our heaven on earth is going to overlap, isn't it? Wanting peace and harmony, no more wars, and people living in peace and people living in freedom. So if you have those beliefs and those desires as well, as a collective, we can create that and bring it in. But you may have different heavens on earth, because your heaven on earth might be an Ecuadorian Amazon jungle home. And mine isn't. So that's okay, isn't it? We all create our own heaven on earth within the collective heaven on earth. But whatever, it's going to be run by love. Love is the power that creates heaven on earth. Loving yourself, following the expansion in your heart, because when your heart expands with love, it's truth. Expansion is truth. If you're doing that sway test, though I haven't mentioned the sway test for a long time, have I? I'll put a link in the description to that as well. Because when you go forward, it's a truth. It's a positive, it's an expansion. So when you say the word love and you love yourself, and if you're in alignment with that belief, you're going to expand and go forward. And if you say like hate and no and negative words, you're going to go into a state of contraction and go backwards. If you're in a state of contraction, okay, then you're not going to be able to expand, are you? That's not a place that's going to let the miracles in. But I do want to just say this, because a lot of people are not quite understanding, and I've already said, haven't I, that I'm going to put a link in to the Own It, Feel It, Heal It, because I'm getting messages from people that maybe they're feeling really sad, and I talked about my own fear a couple of weeks ago. Yes, we are processing these lower frequency emotions. We do need to own it, acknowledge it, feel it, and heal it. But when you do that with this understanding and this knowing as to what you're doing, you're processing the emotion on behalf of the collective. I mean, it could be your own human's emotion. It could be past life emotion. It could be inherited. It could be a collective emotion. It doesn't matter, does it? Because you're a way shower. You're a light worker. You're a healer. You came here to transmute the energy, the lower frequency energies, into love, right? And that's what that video was about. It's important to understand that you can be feeling sad and still be in a state of expansion, because you can be physically feeling the sadness, but you have a knowing that that you're processing this on behalf of the collective, and you are grateful that you can do that. You're grateful that you have the tools that you can do that, and you can keep your higher self in an expanded state. So your higher self is holding space for your human, while your human processes the fear, the sadness, the anxiety, whatever it may be. But remember, you are not your human. You are your higher self. I'll put a link into that one as well. Oh my goodness me, lots of links, lots of homework, lots of lessons in awakening to catch up on, huh? Because as your higher self, you are your higher self. As your higher self, you can hold space for the child that is your human, and let your human cry the sadness out, stomp the anger out, feel the fear, but you're doing it from a higher level of consciousness, and therefore you're doing it from an expanded state of being and an expanded state of awareness, where you can fill up with love and gratitude for who you are, how you're serving humanity at this time. Okay, so that's how you can feel those lower frequency emotions and process them, transmute them into love. So we're not ignoring that point, because that's an ongoing thing, right? That's an ongoing thing. Knowing how to deal with it is important, because we're keeping ourselves in this expanded state of being, which is taking us to miracles, and we don't know what. But we need to rest as much as possible so that we can hear the calling. We need to be still. Stillness doesn't mean always being physically still. Some people, yes, physically still, eyes closed, meditating, back straight normally, breathing down to the belly, however you meditate. Some people, especially those dominant in second energy center that have had their soul profiles read, I know there's a lot of you out there, they could be hiking. They could be hiking up in the mountains on their own with their dog or what have you. And that stillness can also bring you that access point to acceleration. It was interesting. It just reminded me. I took the dog for a walk along this beautiful path. We've got this river that flows through the marshes locally to us in Pago, and I was walking the dog, and I was the only person there. Me and my dog were the only people there, and I was just really busy. I've just said that I needed this card to tell me to slow down, because I just had a lot going on. And I had what I call busy head syndrome. And I was walking along kind of thinking, oh, I've got to do this, and then I've got to do that, and where's the dog? Okay, and I'll feed him when I get back, and then I'll do this. And that's what was going through my mind as I'm walking through this most gorgeous, stunning, beautiful natural park. And something, obviously I'm the creator of my own reality, so my higher self, probably the Arcturians, knowing them, but something, it seemed like someone had thrown a rock into the river, and it made this deep plonking sound, and then I could see all the ripples coming out, but it was that splash that made me aware and look. So I didn't see what it was, but there was nobody else around. So my little human mind thought, oh, it's probably a jumping fish, because you get those occasionally. Doesn't matter what it was. The point was, it took my attention and made me realize that I was in the most stunning natural environment, completely on my own. And it took me away from the busy head that I had been inside chattering. Took me, and I just stood there. And I was like, oh my God, it's stunning. And there was silence, but I could hear birds and all sorts of things. It wasn't silent, but it was just like I'd stopped the monkey chatter. That's what was the nice bit. And I just stood there. I don't know how long for. My dog was looking at me going, what's going on? I was like, oh, the stillness, the serenity, the beauty. And I don't know what made that splash, but whatever it was for my benefit, to take me out of that chatter and into the most glorious place of appreciation and love and gratitude. It was amazing. It was a really beautiful, beautiful moment. So I'm inviting you to really look for times like that, when the monkey chatter's going on. We need to switch it off, and we need to breathe, inhale the serenity, Inhale the love, the gratitude. Bit of solitude always helps, doesn't it? Stillness is the access point to acceleration. Then you can get yourself into the upper room. You get yourself into that place of awe and wonder and joy and appreciation and expansion and peace and all those lovely things. And then from that frequency, then life's not a struggle anymore, is it? That's when the Tower card becomes the biggest blessing of your life. That's when your aha moment becomes the turning point. You have it all, everything. You have everything you need to turn your life into love. Wow. Love yourself this February. Wow. Love everything this February. I love you this February. Wow. Get in touch if you want a private reading. I would love to read for you. Have a fantastic month. See you soon in the next weekly messages. Bye for now.